road tripping, heading to pick up some ported heads from someone I got in touch with through one of my latest YouTube videos towards the end of 2022. We've got the rear wheel drive build going together, and that's probably what these heads will go on, since Bad Grandpa is all set with some kind of stage 2 equivalent heads already on it. All right, so we've got the new cylinder heads with the rockers on them. I just saw that Grand Prix and it reminded me to just give a recap. We went out to Chicagoland area, got to talk to James, a couple hours of garage chat time, which everybody loves to have. And we talked about what the plans are for my car, what the plans are for their vehicles, just recapping history. Going forward into 2023, have some fun, beat on our cars, share some info as we continue building these things. And I hope I get to share some info with everybody else that might be useful to them, or you just get to watch what we are messing with, because in 3800s, there's not a lot of big parts out there anymore. Everybody can do some bolt-on stuff, but beyond that, availability is pretty minimal, which is what I'm hoping that we can inspire to come back a little bit. It'll never be like it was, but if we can get to a point where we can all have at least the basic parts to do what we want to do. I'll leave it off there and show you when we unwrap this stuff.
And now we're back in the garage. Got the heads. You can see they've got the nice T&D roller rockers on there. I'll be taking my time setting these up just because I've got to do some shimming under the springs. Let me turn the light on. You can kind of see they're getting a little mushed out, so I just got to buy some kits, shim kits for that, and then go through, because I'm going to have to figure out exactly. So I've got the engine back in a bag just so that it stays preserved in mock-up form. The supercharger's down in the tote so that I can figure out what the geometry is, push rod length, and see what exact model I want to buy and everything like that, and then slowly piece these together. So this project is going to be months and months coming together. I don't even have the vehicle yet that it's going to go in. So along with keeping Bad Grandpa going, we will have the rear wheel drive project taking space up in the garage in place of this. Because I hope to be driving this a lot next year. Well, now this year, in 2023, hopefully Bad Grandpa just gets to cruise around and I get to enjoy putting some miles in my comfortable Buick while building what will be a slightly less comfortable to drive car. Although we'll see what kind of seats I end up getting. I want something pretty comfortable because I hope to do drag and drive events and everything like that. But for now, basically we are at the stage of slowly accumulating parts. I've got to get some fresh head studs and gaskets because this engine I was always doing just stock replacement bolts and Fel-Pro gaskets for heads because I was running stock heads on this XP cam engine the whole time. So the only studs and MLS gaskets are on the turbo engine over here, but they will now also have a twin on this engine. But the cam, I want to go all out with the intense stage 4 cam and really just maximize what we get out of this. For now on the L26 block, if something breaks, it breaks. But thankfully, we've got this as a filter to protect the supercharger, and there's no turbo down the exhaust path. So if we spit a rod out, window the block, oh well. I will try to have a belly pan on that setup by the time we start pushing it real hard. The winter operations right now are just accumulating parts for this. I'm going to get this in a condition where I can just park it until springtime. This is what we have looking forward into 2023 for a build. And not only that, Bad Grandpa will be seeing as much action as I can get time to take it out and rip down the track, starting with the local 8th mile, and then we will venture over to a 1/4 mile track once I have probably a new set of slicks. These ones are not going to be lasting too much longer. I can get some fresh ones that are nice and soft. These are no longer really soft. They're too old to try and go for the 1716, pretty respectable front wheel drive 60 foot for a street front wheel drive car that's almost full weight. We'll try and take a little bit of weight out of it just to go for some racing numbers. But for the most part, as you see, those big Buick seats in there, yeah, those big plush boys, we're going to keep those in there. We're not really going crazy. I've seen some people do some GXP interior swaps and things like that, but I'm not real worried about that. I'm not going crazy. The simplicity of this car, the fact that I just put, the standard turbo kit anybody could buy, a cam anybody could buy. The upper intake system is basically what you could buy. I've done a little customizing to do the throttle body combination that I wanted, but for the most part, this is still a setup anybody could build. It's got the regular power logs. I've just wrapped them. You can get a version of fuel logs. You can get, anything I've got here. The injectors are 60 pounders. The fuel pump right now is a 255. I'll probably increase that soon. But this is what you can get from 90 to 95% commercially bought things. Standard transmission cooler with AN fittings you can get off of eBay or Amazon. A Volkswagen Scirocco radiator for the intercooler, the air-to-water system. Or you can go for an air-to-air system as well. Just as good, depending on your plans, what you want to do. I'm trying to go for the shortest air charge path just to minimize lag right now. Continuing to push this thing, trying to get some 10-second passes out of it, really establish what it was built for before we kind of dial it back for the long run. And then this will be the system that we just try to push as hard as possible, eventually with a built bottom end, and just continue finding weak points. Obviously, the fact that it's this displacement being a 3.8 has its own limitations, but we can still have a lot of fun with it. I think I'll do a lot of learning, and hopefully it's entertaining for everybody to check out as we keep going, as we push harder and harder on what we've got going here.